How did we start?
You actually started.
Hi, we're Josh and Lolly Weed.
We've been married for 15 years.
We have 4 daughters together.
And our divorce will be final any day.
We are active members of the Mormon Church. We have always been active members, and it's a really important part of our life.
It's true. And we grew up in the same Mormon community. When I was 16 and started realizing I was gay, I didn't know what to do. And so at that point, I reached out to my best friend, Lolly, and told her, hey, I'm gay.
And when he told me that, it really was shocking, because I started to realize that as a Mormon, if he wanted to stay active in the church, that he only had 2 options.
And those options were to either be celibate for the rest of my life or marry a woman. At 16, I started seeing conversion therapists, and they recommended that I try to act like a straight person and that I try and get married. And I could only think the only person I could possibly remotely think of marrying was this best friend of mine.
Yeah, but I did not want to marry a gay guy at all.
By the time we got to college, we were really, really close friends. I started really acting like a straight guy, and I even dated her roommate.
That was when I let myself start to fall in love with him.
You realized he might be the one by
Yes.
before his mission time.
Yeah.
It was actually the day that I had gone through the temple for the first time. I went and was saying my evening prayer, and I went to say the thing that I had always said was please bless my future husband. And it just came to me very strong, you already know who your future husband is. And I knew that I was going to marry Josh.
Pray for him by name.
Yeah.
And we got married.
It seemed, again, like the best option.
At first time, it worked pretty well. We were close enough that we were able to bridge that gap for a while. But 10 years into things, we started realizing that we were not okay with not being more authentic with the truth of our story and our situation.
So we decided that we were going to write a blog post and put it on Josh's personal blog, letting everybody know, hey, Josh is gay, but we are happily married. That post went viral. And
massively viral.
Well, it sounds like a set of contradictions. How can someone be a gay man, a devout Mormon, and happily married to a woman?
How does this work for you, though? Josh, are you sexually attracted to your wife? Do you have sex with your wife? How's that work?
That is a valid question.
we became the poster children for mixed orientation marriage within religion, Christianity, Mormonism.
So what that meant was that anytime anybody came out in these religious communities, they would have well-intentioned family members and friends send our blog post of our story saying, I heard you're gay. Have you thought about this option? If they can do it, so can you.
It was definitely weaponized.
It was problematic.
As the years went on, we started meeting more and more gay people because
we were kind of out there.
Yeah.
And as we met them, it became really apparent that our arrangement of mixed orientation marriage is not a viable option.
We thought that for other people, but we
were still convinced we could do it because we had so much love for each other and our, and we loved our family unit. But I think it was in September of this last year, I went on a writing retreat with a dear friend of mine who is a lesbian, and while we were there, I watched her fall in love with a woman. And it was beautiful. And one of the nights that we were there, the two of them kind of were off doing their own thing, and I was left by myself, and I was alone. And I realized it reminded me of high school, of when I was always the one that was alone. I was always the one that didn't have a connection. And for some reason that night, just the fall equinox, my internal self just said, this is not okay. It is not okay it was not okay that I had never even had a crush on someone that was requited, that I had never been able to explore this part of myself.
The night that Josh got back from his writing retreat, I could just tell something was very wrong. And that night he kind of just broke down and told me all the stuff. Like
I'd let you read my journal.
Yeah, he wrote a journal, and it was very hard to read, just saying that he realized that he'd never loved anybody and had them love him back. And it really, like, it was the hardest night of my life.
That's when I had the real breakthrough of, like, fully realizing that I was not okay with who I am, and that I did not love myself. And that to love myself as a gay man, I actually had to be a gay man.
We knew that we had to end our marriage. At one point, I remember thinking about a blessing that Josh had given me that talked about how later in life we would have a homestead where our family would be able to would come together for years and years. And I said, well, what about our homestead?
And when she said that, it was like I felt inspired, and I realized, like, a homestead is 160 acres. Like, it's not necessarily even the same house. We don't have to be apart. We can still be together, even as we both explore other romantic options. Me dating men for the first time, and her dating straight men for the first time. She had never dated a straight man.
I had actually never kissed a straight man before.
So it was this amazing moment of realizing that we did not have to say goodbye to each other, even as we were deciding to say goodbye to each other as spouses.
That we could still be best friends and still raise a family together, but that we could find love.